Why, hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to our Mushroom Station question and answer video on YouTube. Holy heck.
That's right. Welcome.
Hey.
My name is Jupiter Ackles.
My name is Joseph Langlois.
And my name is Amy Terry.
And we're gonna... What?
Sorry, go on.
And this is Jackass!
This is Jackass! I'm gonna fucking ramp off of a trash can and into a ditch.
Let's go. Swallow 5 goldfish.
I'm going to put a knife into...
somewhere it doesn't belong.
Somewhere. Your uncle's pocket.
Whoa! I'm gonna stash the murder weapon in your uncle's pocket and frame him. Welcome. So, this is our little question and answer. When we started off this network, we said that we were going to be doing a question and answer video about the network and our shows and ourselves. And here it is. We have collated a bunch of questions, all from our Patreon Discord. And we're gonna answer. We're gonna A some fucking Q's.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's fucking do it.
We swear in this one.
Oh, we swear. Look, here's the thing: is that we swear. End of sentence.
I swear on my life.
Yeah. You ever meet a mushroom that doesn't swear? I didn't fucking think so.
I didn't fucking think so. All mushrooms swear. You don't. Fucking, you see mycelium? They're all saying fuck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get right into it. I want to start this off right off the bat and answer a question that I feel like has been a weight on my mind and has been pressing a lot of other people's minds. What happened to Deck of Friendship? Why is it not part of the network? Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Deck of Friendship went on hiatus a couple of months ago, right at the beginning of our Mega Man Battle Network's NT Warrior season, and never came back and just sort of vanished. And the reason for that is simply that, so the reason why we went on hiatus is because Ray moved into a new house, new location, and settling into a new life. And he has just not been able to find time for podcasting, and we decided in the background that the best thing for him and all of us was to end the show. We talked about potentially bringing in a new host, the same as I brought in Joe for ARTGHOST after Miles left, but it just didn't feel right because Deck of Friendship is the three of us, and it wouldn't feel right to continue it with somebody else. So Deck of Friendship has ended, I am sorry to say, and I apologize for not announcing this properly at any point. I'm planning on announcing it in the actual Deck of Friendship feed at some point and on Twitter some point soon. And me, Ray, and Joy have talked about some proper way to send off the show, but just finding time with our busy schedules has, it just hasn't happened yet, but it will most likely happen at some point soon. But that's, I don't really have anything more to say or announce regarding Deck of Friendship right at this moment. But yes, the show has ended, unfortunately.
Bummer.
I'm really proud of what we did with Deck of Friendship. It is a part of my heart. But you know what? Sometimes projects just need to, they don't fit with your life at a given point. So,
Yeah, you wouldn't want us to do 14 seasons of a show only to have one of the worst endings known to man.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know. Was it 14, 16? Let's move on.
What are you... Sorry, what are you referencing? What?
Supernatural?
Oh, Supernatural. That doesn't count because the show was bad to begin with.
We're not here to talk about Supernatural.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about the next question.
Yeah.
What led to creating a new network?
Are you falling asleep already?
I'm dead.
Oh my gosh. Oh, also, this question was asked by Alexander Mercury on our Discord and by Ray.
The very same Ray.
The very same Ray.
Thank you for the question. Both of you.
Both of you. Thank you so much. What led us to create this network?
Conglomeration of things. Organizing thing into one thing.
Yeah.
Make easier.
Yeah.
By turning what existed into a network, it allows room for change, and it allows people to leave when they need to be done, as has happened, and it allows new people to join in when the network is ready for them, such as myself. By being a network and allowing for opportunities for change, it allows people to not feel trapped, and it also allows the collaboration to grow when the time is right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go on. That was the end of my point. I don't know why I said I have more to say.
No, for real. So the story is that so Deck of Friendship, we have known that Deck of Friendship was ending for a couple of months, and then Miles left ARTGHOST, and just me being like, oh fuck, 2 of my podcasts are in the wind, and I was like, well, shit, I still want to keep doing this. I still want to keep moving. And then I reached out to Joe, and he agreed to keep doing ARTGHOST with me. And I was like, well, I really want to take this opportunity not as me shying away from anything. I want to take this moment as a period of growth and as a way to reestablish my podcasting career and all of that. And so I really wanted to organize into a network because our previous Patreon, Arctic Aspects, could not continue under that name with one of those podcasts no longer happening. And I didn't just want to do a name change. I wanted to come back swinging with especially because, over at the Patreon, we had been very dormant for a very long time. And I really wanted to just come back full force and be better and stronger and more organized and have a platform that things can exist on and that we can launch projects on and that we can expand and elaborate on and do all of that without it being like a house of cards, I wanted something solid.
Plus, it meant that we could make a really cool website that we all worked really hard on. And you should check out. Amy, can you remind me what the website is called?
Mushroomstation.net.
Thank you.
Mushroomstation.net. Ooh. Yeah. I honestly, I've always really just wanted a website for the shows, and having it now is just like, oh, hell yeah. I can just give people a link. I don't, like, in the future when I'm guesting on shit, I won't have to be like, so my podcasts are this, and you can find them here. It's just like, no, one fucking link.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Simplicity.
Slim.
I'm going to go ahead and just interrupt this whole little thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to... This is the first question and answer session to be interrupted by a different question. And that different question is, do you have a favorite number and why that number? And that was submitted by Alexander Mercury. That's right. We're going silly now.
Oh, shit.
What's your favorite number, Jupiter?
Silly mode. Red Hot Silly Peppers. So, what's my favorite number? My favorite number is 9. My favorite number is 9 because... my birthday is 9/9, and I've just always had an affinity with the number 9, and I have dyscalculia.
Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I did. 9. That was actually, I was going to bring it up. But I have dyscalculia, so numbers are hard to deal with for me, but the number 9 has always been, like, so easy to remember. My birthday is 9/9. It's so easy. And then the movie came out. The movie, is it just called 9?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like N9NE. No, that's not right. That's something else.
Something like that. It's a very fun movie. It creeped me out as a kid, and the art style is really cool. And it came out on my birthday. So I just have a strong affinity with the number 9.
What's your favorite number, Amy?
26.
26? What? Why?
Because as a kid, they would always number our desks and always order us based off our last name, and because T is down in the alphabet, I was number 26 at least like 5 times in different classrooms in different years, and so I just became really attached to the number, and now I just attribute it as my lucky number.
Oh.
My special number.
Yeah.
Cute. Love it. Hell yeah.
That's similar to my favorite number, which is 11. My best friend from high school, his favorite number was 12, and mine was 11, and so that felt special. Also, it was 11 because when I was like in high school at some point, I played baseball, and my number was 11, and my parents would shout from the stands. They'd say, "Go Ones!" I was terrible, but I still really liked the number, and it's always felt lucky to me.
Yeah. Aw. Love it. All right. Interruption over. We're going to jump back up.
Back to the serious stuff, folks. Sorry about that.
Sorry for going silly mode for a fucking second there. I don't know what happened there.
Amy, I need to ask you, as provided by Turtleover2244 in the Discord server, why did you personally decide on the name Mushroom Station?
So these clowns are gonna say that we named it Mushroom Station, for the hominess and the whatever meaningful shit.
For the homies.
It's for the soup, babes! It's for the soup. I was craving soup that day, and I was thinking about soup, and I wanted soup, and I couldn't put soup in the name, so I said mushroom.
Yeah, you tried to. You
really
soup
tried.
This, soup that.
Yeah,
that's it. That's why it's mushroom.
We really ran through a lot of different names. Like we had a whole long meeting that was like a couple hours long where we were like, let's fucking hunker down and come up with a fucking name. And let me tell you right now, naming stuff is very hard.
I love naming stuff. I'm so good at it. I love it. Hire me to name your shit.
Oh my goodness. And we ran through a lot of different names that we just didn't end up vibing with for a bunch of different reasons. Like, I honestly can't remember. My memory's bad. I can't remember a lot of, like, the rejected names. But I do know that, like, right at the start of the meeting, we were like, what's the vibe that we can, use for this whole network? And Amy immediately came out swinging with Community Garden.
Mm-hmm.
As an aesthetic.
That was our starting off point, our grounding force.
Yeah. So it was always very
Earthy.
Earthy, yeah. And we started talking about mushrooms, and I was like, "Oh fuck! I bet I can draw a bunch of little mushroom guys."
Yeah.
And you certainly can.
Yeah, I certainly can.
As has been evidenced by our new bodies.
Yes, these are our new bodies. Our mushroomite bodies. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Ignore the fact that when either one of Joe or Amy talks, they both open their mouths.
You see, mushrooms have kind of a whole, hive mind thing going on.
Yeah.
And we're just in that stage right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, on my left hand, I can't lower my pinky without also lowering my ring finger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like that.
Hey, honey, out of us, which one is the pinky and which one is the ring finger?
I'm the ring finger. You're the pinky.
I'm pinky. I'm a little baby.
I'm so glad that we're establishing this.
Yeah. I do need to move on, though.
Yes.
And I wanted to go on to the next question on the list, which was actually brought to us by Jupiter. Do you plan to expand the network to include new shows? And what are the plans for the future? And I think we kind of alluded to this already. The hope is to include more and more talent and creative endeavors into this network. That is the reason of having a network, is that it can grow. It can grow. We're not there yet. We need to spend some time stabilizing, but the plan for the future is to add more podcasts and potentially other mediums as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like right now we are at our launching off point, and no promises for plans for the future, but I think we're all just very excited about like the potential of doing stuff. I know that I personally have ideas of like what we can do with the network, and especially like this YouTube channel and shit. We will, hopefully, very much expand to new shows, and, shows from us and shows from friends of ours and stuff like that. I will go ahead and say that we, are almost certainly not going to be at any point like opening up applications for people like to submit their podcast to join the network. Like we are doing very any expansion that we're doing is going to be very deliberate and private, and then we'll expand our reach and do a whole thing. But we're not,
I don't mean to give the impression that this is like a fragile thing, but
no,
it needs time to cook.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what we intend to do.
Yeah, honestly, our decision to not expand very quickly is, I think, a sign of stability, because we're trying to make sure that what we have is solid and then build on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to rush into anything, Just like a good relationship, you don't rush into anything.
Fun question.
Okay, yeah.
What media are you currently consuming, and what do you think of it so far? By Linux Damon.
I think that's Linux, honey.
Linux Damon.
Do you have an answer to that? Or are you putting us on the spot?
I've been consuming two things. Three things.
Uh-huh.
I've been playing the video game Littlewood, which is Harvest Moon but easy, and it's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also been playing the zombie game Days Gone, which is also really fun. And also I've been reading a book called A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, and it was written in the 1940s, and I really, really love it, and I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Don't you think it's fucked up that we have, I don't think, ever brought a thing from a book to Enchanting Aspects?
I've started checking out books from the library again. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It is going to happen. I can go ahead and jump in here in that I've been watching a lot of Columbo, because Columbo is very good to put on while I'm like editing something, because it's such a predictable format that I can just have it on in the background and I don't need to pay that much attention to it while I'm like working on stuff. But what I've been watching that I've been paying more active attention to is Hannibal.
Oh.
I've been watching Hannibal recently, and
oh boy.
Yeah, well, okay. Now hold on. That's everybody's reaction whenever I talk about Hannibal now. Is they're just like,
the season.
Why?
The reason I say oh boy is because it was canceled. So it's just like you're gonna get in with a bunch of emotions, and then it's gonna end, and you're gonna be sad.
I thought it was confirmed for a season 4.
Oh, I don't know.
Cool. We're just talking out our ass here. So I've been watching Hannibal on the recommendation of my paramour. It's their like favorite show, so I have been watching it to have another thing to talk about with them. I'm having a lot of fun. It's a very stupid show, and it's very dumb. And it is a comedy disguised as a police procedural because all of this horrible stuff will be happening, and it does have like themes and shit, and it's like, a well thought out show, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
But then Hannibal Lecter walks in and is just like, is anybody hungry? It's incredible.
As a side note, that's exactly how I felt about Snakes on a Plane, which Amy and I watched last weekend.
Oh my god.
And it was, like you said, it was a comedy disguised as a crime thriller, because every once in a while there would just be a line of somebody yelling, "Oh my god, it's snakes!" And it's just so funny.
Jupiter, we have to watch. We have to make you watch that movie. Literally, one of the snakes jumps on a naked lady and bites her boob.
Mm-hmm. That's
ridiculous.
Like one of the first deaths.
Yeah, I watched it. I never watched all of it. I think honestly, like my sister watched it when I was a kid, and I like half watched it with her until we got to that scene, and I was like too baby, and I was like, I can't handle this. I'm too baby, and then I left the room.
To answer the question, what I've been consuming lately, I would say the novel Watership Down. I've been reading it to Amy at night when we go to bed. And it's just a little like adventure about a group of rabbits that escape a doomed warren. And it's dated for sure. It's got some issues, but it's been a fun, warm little experience for the most part.
Yeah.
And the other thing is... YouTube. I've been watching a lot of YouTube over the last couple of months, and specifically the channel CJ the X. I've been just absolutely smitten with their videos, and that channel started earlier this year, and wow. I couldn't recommend it enough.
Hell yeah. Alright. I'm gonna jump back up. This question I'm really excited for.
Jupiter, how did you come up with all of the names of all of the shows on your own?
Okay, well, all right, interesting. There's a lot of different stories with this. Again, my memory is bad, but with I'll go ahead and start with ARTGHOST, because Joe, you are incapable of answering this question.
Mm-hmm.
You were not there. But when me and Miles created ARTGHOST, the original concept was. Also, this question was asked by Rhapsody Kane.
Thank you, Rhapsody Kane.
Thank you, Rhapsody Kane. So, the original concept for ARTGHOST, we had a very, like, meta thing for it, where we were imagining ourselves as ghosts who were haunting a car stereo.
Mm.
And...
that's cute.
Yeah, it was fun. We just didn't do anything with it. But it's like... It's why, if you listen back to, like, the original episodes, and I do not recommend it, don't. But, if you do, the original intro and outro we had had a lot of car noises and was very car influenced. And I remember specifically that the outro ended with like a car driving away. And we ended up ditching that after our like first year for two reasons. One, because we had sort of like ditched the car aesthetic internally, and also because our original intro and outro included a lot of radio static, and then I met Joy, and she has misophonia triggered specifically by radio static, and so I was like talking to her, and she was just like, hey, so listening to the intro and outro of ARTGHOST fucking sucks for me. And I was like, oh shit. And so then I completely redid all of the assets for the show to not include radio static.
So all that theming went away, but the name stuck around. And like, I don't know why I never needed to understand the name of Artificial Ghost Radio. Like, it is the right name for the show. It doesn't matter that all of that stuff went by the wayside.
Yeah, I, like, honestly, like, it's so funny because, like, Artificial Ghost Radio, like, as a name is just very evocative, but you don't know what it's evocative of.
Yeah.
And then also just, like, I also love that the show just has a second name, which is just ARTGHOST.
Yeah.
It's not that, it started off as just an abbreviation, and then now it just feels like the second name of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Amy.
What's next?
Amy, I want to talk about Enchanting Aspects.
So Enchanting Aspects, me and Jupiter sat down on a Google Doc, and we just came up with the idea for the show, and we were trying to figure out the name of it, and we were both just looking up synonyms on the internet of, like, cool small things, small objects, and then I put together Enchanting Aspects, and then I tried to look for the original doc, and I found it, and I remember why none of the other names or concepts are there. It's because as soon as we stuck on Enchanting Aspects, I erased everything else on the doc, and I was like, this is it!
Oh my gosh, yeah. Do you remember any of the rejected names?
No. I remember. I remember the fucking Love Boat.
Oh god,
idea.
right? Because Enchanting Aspects was not our original concept. Amy came up to me in a Discord message and was like, "Hey, Jupiter, I really want to do a podcast with you," and I was initially very hesitant, I'm going to be honest, and it's literally just because I didn't want to edit another podcast, and then Amy was just like, I'll edit it, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, all right, full steam ahead, let's go. So we came up with a lot of different concepts for the show, and you can hear all of the pilots that we made on our Patreon. They're all bad. And
I think they're fantastic.
I will never forget the two Bowsers.
Two Bowsers, oh my god.
The two Bowsers it's so fucking good. But yeah, I don't remember any of the rejected names for Enchanting Aspects either. But yeah, I do remember it was just like we were really trying, like, we figured on the word aspects, and then we're like, what goes with that? What goes with that?
Yeah.
And eventually landed on enchanting, which this is another similar story of, like, you started out really wanting to do, like, a wizard aesthetic for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we did, in the pilot.
Yeah, you had, like, a whole, like, the crystal ball has been fractured in the...
Yeah! That's in the pilot! Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Yeah.
There was lore for about half an episode.
Yeah. Maybe we should bring the lore back. You want to do a lore episode?
Yeah, we should do a lore episode. We're just wizards the whole time.
It was just like, just doing our wizard voices, like,
yeah.
My thing this week is... Yeah, I don't know why that's my wizard voice, but yeah. Ghost Hunt Pacific. Ghost Hunt Pacific came very quickly to me because I wanted to create the most generic name for a ghost hunting show that I possibly could. And I'm not even going to lie, I was partially inspired by, in Magnus Archives, one of the in-universe shows is Ghost Hunt UK. And I was like, well, this show is set in the Pacific Northwest. And I was originally going to have it be like more of the Pacific Northwest, and then it's just going to end up being like Oregon. But I was just like, yeah, well, Ghost Hunt Pacific. There it is. Bam, bam. It came up, there was no rejected names. It came up very quickly. And I have one little, I will share this. Deck of Friendship isn't, continuing. It's not part of the network, but, I will go ahead and share that, I don't remember any of the actual rejected names. We came up with Deck of Friendship pretty quickly, I remember, but, there is a pinned message in our Deck of Friendship group chat that is Joy asking if we could call the show You Gayo.
That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how we came up with the names.
Okay, ding ding ding, fun question time.
Okay.
Favorite game that isn't a video game or a tabletop by Rhapsody Kane.
Thanks again, Rhapsody Kane.
Thank you, Rhapsody
Kane. 2 in a row.
Yeah. So like sports or word games or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess.
Sure.
Like stuff you play as a kid, I guess.
Yeah.
So like Squid Game? I'm sorry.
Yeah, my favorite non-video or tabletop game is Squid Game. Murder. I would go ahead and say that I think that my favorite non-video or tabletop game is probably baseball.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I am like, conceptually, I'm a big fan of baseball. I do not follow any teams, although that's really just because I don't have a way to access sports right at this moment. But honestly, maybe like if I can find a way, maybe like putting on baseball games in the background would be a great thing to have while editing. But
yeah,
I really do like enjoy baseball a lot. I have a lot of good baseball memories, and I think there is very much an alternate universe where I got into baseball and started playing baseball.
Hell yeah.
And potentially future again where I play it casually. Like there's potential. There's baseball potential in me.
Baseball outfits are cute.
There's not baseball potential in me, as established by earlier this conversation.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, what about you, Tim?
I really like Texas Hold'em.
Oh,
okay.
I thought you were gonna say solitaire.
No, I like playing poker because I'm good at lying and manipulation.
Because I excel at deceit.
I'm great at deceiving people in games, and I'm good at having a poker face, and I also just get a kick out of tricking people in games, not in real life. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just really fun. It's fun. I like games where you betray people.
I do too, honestly.
I'm struggling with this. I think my favorite game that isn't a video game or a tabletop is probably it's a catchphrase, but specifically catchphase. So catchphrase was a board game that you like had a clue on a little disc, and you had to get your friends to guess what the clue was without saying what it was. Like that was basically the only rule. Like you're not supposed to rhyme it or say what the first letter is.
Sure.
But outside of that, you can do anything. Like this is a movie with this guy, or you can sing a song or whatever. And in college, a friend of mine programmed all of the prompts from all of the paper discs that we had from that board game into a website, which is still live and you can just access on your phone. And so you can play catchphrase on a web browser for free. And
oh, shit.
That's one of my favorite games. Just because I love fucking with the clues. Like if it says if it says retire, I'll say it's the things that go on the bottom of a car, and then you do that again. Retire.
Oh, that's
Like,
fun.
That's some good stuff.
I'm glad you think so, Jupiter.
That's good shit.
Play that game with me for 2 minutes, and you'll be like, "No, shut up, Joe."
I love it. I love it. So one time
love
Joe
that.
plays by my rules.
Oh my goodness. All right. Jumping back up. This is we have sort of sections. This is the last one of the sort of network questions.
General, yeah.
Which is, what about merch from Rhapsody Kane?
Thanks again, Rhapsody Kane. A hat trick. We love to see it.
Love to see it. Magical hats. Let's go.
Yeah, so the question about merch. Will there be Mushroom Station merch in the future? Probably.
Yeah.
If we can, again, this is a question of when we're able to do it. We don't want to overpromise anything, and we want to make sure that we're able to keep good on our word. Like, we said that we were going to make a Q&A video, and that's why we're making this video. And we said that we are going to have monthly game and or movie nights in the Discord, and we would like to do those even more often. But, we are working up, and once we have the stability that we're looking for, we will open up new projects, such as creating merch. I would love to see, people with stickers or whatever, flying the flag of Mushroom Station.
Yeah, I really want to make a like sticker pack of the Mushroomites.
Yeah.
That would be sick. But yeah, it's very much the thing of like, yeah, we don't want to make promises that we can't keep. And so we are keeping everything within our reach for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, merch in the future would be sick.
Down the line.
Moving
Moving on.
on.
I get to ask all the Argo questions because I'm not a part of it.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
This question comes from Ray. What has the process of getting a new host been like? Dynamic changes? Any difficulties?
Well, I mean,
Ray is asking this question.
no, I mean, like, sure, there have been, dynamic changes and difficulties, but, we're so early on that, like, we're still, like, finding our feet and really figuring out what the new dynamic is, and, like, the sort of, like, difficulties, I guess, have been just, figuring out intro, outro, figuring out, like, what our identity as ARTGHOST is now. We're officially 3 episodes in, 2 episodes of the 2 of us. And
I would say it's been a much smoother transition than I would have expected. I really, I really haven't experienced anything that I would call a difficulty. We had to change our recording time this past week because we were both exhausted, and then we made a backup time slot, and then we both got to it. Like, I don't know, like, things happen and little road bumps occur, but there hasn't been anything that has been like a nagging pain at us. It's been for me, it's been really exciting to join a show that I've had a lot of respect for a long time, and then also very, very quickly, I didn't really feel like a guest anymore. It feels like, I'm 2 episodes into my official run on the show, and it already kind of feels like it's my show in some part.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. And, like, I think that the episodes that we've made so far have been really, really good. I really like episode -2. I think that's a really fucking good episode. I'm just excited for the future.
All right, this one's specifically towards Joe. Also, again from Ray, what exciting new things do you plan to bring to the show? How does it feel filling in for Miles' big clown shoes?
I don't think of myself as filling Miles' clown shoes. I think I said that, but I think Miles has had his time on the show. I don't want to speak too much about him, like he's not here. He's not here, but I'm not gonna talk about him behind his back or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the show still exists, and I'm glad that I get to be a part of it. And exciting new things, different music, I hope, and also I don't know. I remember listening back to some of the earlier episodes of Art Ghost back in the day, and there was like games and quizzes and bits and like segments galore. And I know that a lot of those have gone by the wayside due to time constraints, and Jupiter and I have already gone on lengthy tangents in the episodes that we've been on. But I would really like to bring some things like that back. More games, more, something to keep it fresh. I really love that we spend as much time as we do talking about music, but I like how silly the show can be too, and I want to make sure that we do some of that.
Yeah, I very much agree that I would love to do more segments and stuff. I want to do, I don't want to rush into it, and also I don't want to reuse any segments that were in the old version of the show. I want to come up with new stuff. And
the show is great because it has a beautiful, easy to follow structure, and it also leaves a lot of room for just playing around if you have time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Also, I'm going to ask this next question because it comes from me.
All right.
Joe, where do you envision the show in 1 year?
I see us, I see myself especially divulging more of my music that I would never have expected to have a conversation about. There's so much music that I listen to that feels so personal to me. And the kind of thing that I always would like to share with other people, but also feels like kind of hard to do that. So I'm excited to do more of that. And I think what I would really like to do is to open the door again to guests, and talk to people about music production specifically. It's something that I've always had a lot of interest in, and something that I've tried a couple of times. I've never had much success with it, which I like to blame on time. But I don't know, talking about music and talking to musicians about music is really inspiring for me. And I just want to keep spending time doing that because I'm selfish, and hopefully, lending some of that inspiration to anyone who listens.
Yeah, that would be sick. I'm going to be honest, in terms of guests, I've very much thought of inviting more of our friends onto the show and shit. Mm-hmm. But we, me and Miles stopped trying to reach out to established musicians, because, honestly, we did those interview episodes and we were not prepared for anything. Honestly, a lot of those episodes are extremely embarrassing for me. And, we were not prepared. We were not confident. We were not professional at all. And so we sort of put that idea away. But I'm very interested in potentially doing more of it in the future, figuring out a better way to do it. And, I feel a lot more confident to do it now. And I'm not going to completely fall on my ass. Mm-hmm. So, I'm down for exploring that.
I think stability grants us a lot of leeway, and that's what we're establishing right now. And, and you can dream big from there.
Yeah.
I did want to add on to the end that I think that in a year I see myself potentially recording an episode of Art Ghost without mentioning my therapist. If I can do that, then I think we're in a good place.
All right.
Do you think a year from now I'll finally be a fucking guest?
Oh my god!
Yes, I think that we have to have Amy on.
We will. We'll have to. Oh my gosh! Okay, fun question.
I'm gonna ask. Fun question. Sorry,
it's fun question time. This question comes from Underwater Slot Man. Favorite animal or animals?
I'm going first. My answer is cat. My favorite animal is a house cat, and I hold no shame in this.
Okay, you're allowed.
Wolf.
For a second, you said wolf, but it sounded for a second like you just said woof. Which would also be in character, I think.
Yeah.
Puppy doggy.
So we've got two very basic answers over here, cat and dog. Here's the thing, is that I love all animals. I think all animals are very good. Like,
me too, except fucking wasps.
We don't need to go down this road again, Joe. No, I love animals a lot. I will go and say, my favorite animal when I was in high school was the pangolin, which is sort of like an armadillo, has a lot of armor plates, and it's just very cute. And I am a big fan of that little critter. But I think honestly, you know, if I'm not going to give a cop-out answer and I am going to be genuine, I would say that okay, here's my ranking. I can give you my ranking of all animals right now.
Jesus Christ.
No, hold on. Number 1 is shared between bats and spiders.
Oh, nice.
Number 2 is almost all other animals, all tied together. And then skip a bunch. And then number -1,000 is grasshoppers and praying mantises.
Oh, I love those guys.
I love those little guys.
Those, I'm not scared of the vast majority of bugs. And most bugs don't even bother me. Like, I don't get bitten by bugs most of the time. But for whatever reason, grasshoppers and praying mantises really scare me.
You're valid. Praying mantises are the only bugs that can move their head side to side.
I hate that.
They can nod?
No, just side to side.
Like do a little shimmy?
They can rotate their head. Like they can actually rotate.
Oh,
their head.
Yeah.
Bugs just have no neck Wednesday.
Mantises have necks, and it's fucked up. All right, let's move on. Enchanting Aspects questions.
I'm going to ask these questions because I'm not on the show.
Please do.
From Alexander Mercury, we start with the question, what is your favorite aspect of Enchanting Aspects?
My favorite aspect of Enchanting Aspects is when we, at the end of an episode, try to connect the two things we brought and put them together into some moral.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite.
That's good stuff.
It is good shit. I think my favorite aspect of Enchanting Aspects is that every single time that we bring a thing and we somehow, without communicating or anything, somehow have a shared theme between our two things. Like we're just on the same wavelength for some reason.
Like when I brought Bo Burnham's Inside Song and you brought the ancestral family of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Basically the same thing.
That is my favorite moment of Enchanting Aspects. That unquestionably, that is my favorite moment of Enchanting Aspects, is us going on this whole emotional thing about Bo Burnham's Inside, going into deep conversations, talking about deep emotions, and then being like, I'm going to talk about Scooby-Doo's family tree and just how much that killed you.
Yeah. It killed me.
It's the best shit. That's my favorite aspect, actually, is that moment.
Also, another favorite aspect of Enchanting Aspects is the outros.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably my favorite, is the unique outros to most episodes.
Yeah, there's a lot of episodes where I'm just like, I can't do this. I've already edited the episode. I don't have it in me to make it cool at the end. When I have the inspiration, I do.
Yeah, my favorite outro, I think, is still the Pokemon one, the bicycle escape.
Oh yeah, that one's really good. My favorite one is the Ed and Eddie Bloodborne.
Yeah, that one's also extremely good. But also at the end of the Bo Burnham and Scooby-Doo episode,
Rat Runny Reeling.
Yeah, Rat Runny Reeling. That that song, you sent it to me and I died. So fucking good.
Keeping us grounded here, Ray asks the polar opposite, the cursed aspect of this question. What is your least favorite part of the show?
Ooh.
Other than having to edit it.
I'm
glad I edit it.
You do a great job.
It keeps me creative. Thank you. I think my least favorite part of the show is the fact that a lot of things I haven't done yet because I want to actually put in a lot of time and research into bringing them in, but I simply, I don't have the time or energy or resources often to do that, and I know that it's kind of a running bit of the show that I'm like, I don't read anything, like, I'm not going to give you any information, but I really do. That is something that I wish I did more, was bring more, fully researched things to the show. Not all the time, but I don't know, when it deserves it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think, I think that my least favorite part of the show is Amy. No. No, honestly, I'm really struggling here of, what is my least favorite part of the show? Because, I really enjoy doing Enchanting Aspects. It's always such a fun time and is just, doesn't feel like work to me. I think my least favorite part of the show is when I listen back to an edit and every once in a while Amy edits out something funny that I said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I get it. This is the job of the editor. It's fine.
That was just a jab in my heart. Oh, I feel so bad. Every time I edit something out, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Jupiter.
Oh my god. Meanwhile, when I'm editing ARTGHOST, or especially when I was editing Deck of Friendship, it would just be like, all right, I'm going to cut out this whole huge swath of, and I'm not asking for permission.
Yeah, I have the opposite reaction to you, Jupiter, because I listen back to ARTGHOST episodes and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that she cut this and that. I'm so glad that my dumbass didn't flubber on here. Please cut that part. No.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. This video is going to be edited, but not nearly to the extent that a podcast would be. So this is going to be a fun experience. All right.
I know you want to ask yourself that last question there in the Enchanting Aspects, but I have a question for you first.
Okay.
It's from Underwater Slot Man. Another fun question haver. Wants to know, what is our least favorite candy?
Okay, I'm going to be extremely, extremely controversial right now.
Okay.
Anything with chocolate.
Fuck you.
Anything.
Die.
Everything with chocolate. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I do not like chocolate.
More for me.
Yeah, more for you. That's literally.
But Amy, you also don't fuck with anything that has chocolate and nut flavor, which is also a lot of things.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. Yeah, that was my least favorite. My least favorite's Reese's. I hate anything with peanut butter and chocolate combined, or nuts and chocolate combined. It's too different. You're bringing salty stuff and sweet stuff together, and I don't want it.
We're being very controversial.
I think I'm gonna go with snow caps.
Oh God.
What are snow caps?
They're like movie theater candy. They're like little chocolate guys, and they have white sprinkles on them, but they're so dry and they don't really have much flavor at all. They're work to eat, and they get stuck in your teeth.
That's another contender for me is dots.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
They're just glutinous blobs of shit that you just have to chew for so long. I love the packaging.
I'm gonna go ahead and say all gum
Fuck you! Fuck you! Get out of here!
Back up. Jupiter, what candy do you like?
I like sour candy,
Okay.
gummy candy, especially, stuff like that.
That's the good shit.
It's a Sour Patch
Yeah,
Kids.
there's gum and gummy candy, bitch.
Okay. I just, when I'm chewing a candy, I want there to be a fucking end, and I don't want to have to find a trash can.
There can be an end if you're not a coward.
I can't believe if I'm fucking
the
out,
animosity.
if I am out in the wild, if I am like chewing some gum as I'm walking somewhere, eventually it's gonna lose the taste and just become this like thing that I have to work on, and
then it becomes a stim toy.
I think I can resolve this. I don't think that gum is candy. I mean, I guess like Double Bubble is because you can get it on Halloween. But like, if I think about like gum that I buy at the store, it's gum. It's not candy.
I guess.
I don't have the energy to debate this.
Well, that's why I'm settling it right now, so we can move back to Jupiter's final question about enchanting aspects.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna ask my fucking question now. Hey, Amy, are we gonna do more guest episodes?
Okay, so originally...
Why bother? Why spoil it?
I don't even think we were really planning on doing any guest episodes, but then with Joe, it was kind of a special case of just like, hey, Joe's gonna be here while we're recording, we might as well do it for fun. I haven't thought about it. I'm certainly open to it. I don't think I'd want to do it too much, just because it's kind of the way our show is, set up. It isn't really guest friendly. It's kind of, somebody just gets a soapbox for 20 minutes, and so if we get a guest, it's just another person gets a soapbox for 20 minutes, which is fun. I'll just say that I'm open to it, but I'm not like desperate for it.
Sure, fair enough. All right. Now it's time to move on to the Ghost Town Pacific questions. This is our last little group of questions here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think I can ask these.
Oh, you don't want to talk by yourself for like 15 minutes straight?
I would prefer not to. I would like to have input.
You go.
What are the biggest influences for Ghost Hunt Pacific? This is by Underwater Slopman.
Okay. So, biggest influences. I believe also in the original question, I sort of paraphrased some of these when I was collating them. In the original question, Underwater Slotman pointed out a potential that Magnus Archives was an influence. And it kind of is. I wouldn't actually describe Magnus Archives. Magnus Archives is one of my favorite pieces of media to ever exist. Full stop. I love Magnus Archives. Start to finish. Great fucking show. Is it an influence for GHP? Only in the sense that I am sort of responding with GHP to a lot of the trends of horror podcasts, of a narrator reading something or interacting with some sort of lost media or something like that. Magnus Archives or Archive 81 or From the Hallowwood is another one. It's a very common thing in horror podcasts to present them as somebody reading something else. And that is an influence for me, but as the show develops, I think, you'll find that that GHP is in conversation with that trope, but isn't just doing it, or at least I hope not, my intention isn't, to just be doing it with, just like dryly and with no commentary on it. I would say that my actual biggest influences for the show are the entirety of Jacob Geller's video essays on YouTube. Jacob Geller has a lot of video essays that the thoughts within have influenced me a great deal, and have created a lot of thoughts for the show. And in a sort of similar sense, Nightmind on YouTube also has provided some influence. There is this book that I am reading called Ghostland, by... I have to look it up. I don't have it with me. Ghostland, An American History in Haunted Places by Colin Dickey is an influence for sure, as well as just like a lot of other haunted house media. And I would also say that Anatomy by Kitty Horror Show, the game, is another influence for me for Ghost Hunt Pacific. I will also go ahead and say that Ghost Hunt Pacific's original concept, and the reason why I started writing it to begin with, was that I had an idea where I was like, wouldn't it be fucked up if I did a show where in the first episode the main characters die and then you time travel back to when they started, just having the inevitability that they die? And I was like, it was basically like a, would that be fucked up or what sort of thing. And then I expanded it, and there is a lot more going on in the show now than just that, so.
Well, speaking of which, what is the show about, asks Ray. What's the vibe? Can my non-existent kids listen to it? The question on everybody's mind.
Well, I will go ahead and say I will not actively encourage children to listen to it, but, you know, if your kids are cool, I guess. But the show it's a horror podcast for sure. The show, I can just do the fucking summary here. The Ghost Hunt Pacific is a show following Juno Desconocida, who is a collector of haunted objects. They are a very obsessive person and have been collecting haunted objects for a long time. The caveat being that they don't believe in any supernatural shit. Everything that they collect, they believe with 100% certainty is fake. And there is this creepypasta internet legend that has been circulating for a while of this mysterious ghost hunting show called Ghost Hunt Pacific that apparently aired in the 80s, but like there isn't any record of it. And the concept being that in the final episode, they all are killed. And so this is just considered to be an internet legend, but there are some people trying to profit off of the story and selling fake items relating to it, which Juno has been buying up. And then suddenly, in the mail, they start receiving transcripts of the episodes and starts reading them out for their private collection, not intending to share them with anybody. And as the show unfolds, they uncover the secrets of these transcripts and of Ghost Hunt Pacific, and maybe some other stuff too.
All right. That sounds intriguing. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh.
I want to know more.
It's so funny because you two do know the ending. No,
this is kind of related to the final question here. Maybe you kind of already started to answer it. What are your plans for the show, asks Ray. And I would ask, I think, or I would add rather, like logistically, do you plan to continue to produce it entirely by yourself? I'm interested in the logistic end of that question as well as I think the more narrative question.
Sure. And also, this was a paraphrased from Ray. He went on for kind of a while. And so I sort of paraphrased what I thought he was going for. So Ray, if you're watching this, sorry if I butchered your question. The sort of plans for the show is that, eventually I do want to introduce more characters other than Juno that will get speaking roles, and want to develop the story and get more bold. It's in a sort of very subdued place, and I want to just like get really out there. And I'm sort of like, this project is it's going to be 3 seasons long. I have the whole thing planned out. It has an end, and do want to primarily work on the show by myself. For the most part, I will be working with other people, but the point of this show for me, other than just like making a story that I think is really interesting and exploring a lot of ideas that I think are really interesting, is to broaden my skills as a audio producer and to really introduce me into the narrative horror podcasting space so that I am able to do more stuff in the future with bigger scopes, with more people. But
I really appreciate that. Like having an ending in mind, like knowing that this is this has an ending so that you can move on to new projects.
Yeah.
That's important. And it does not happen a lot in podcasting.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, honestly, like part of it was like really like inspired by like, I've been doing podcasting for like 3 or 4 years at this point, and all of the shows that I have been a part of have always been very format heavy. Of like, this is a show that we can theoretically do forever. Like knowing that all projects eventually have to end, but that in theory it could go on in perpetuity. And right. I'm partially really interested in the narrative horror space because it does allow me to end stuff and have a like, I'm really into having satisfying endings. I'm really into having like little packaged things that are complete. And any ending to any of my like other shows, I'm sure will be like satisfying and complete once it's done, but like also will be like, there's maybe no reason why we couldn't have just continued going other than, you know, like as far as the format goes.
Right.
And with this, I really want to be able to explore all of the possibilities of the world and then end it and leave it for people to extrapolate and expand on in their own imaginations.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's GHP. That's all of our hard hitting questions.
Yeah.
We've got a few fun questions left over if we want to lightning round those.
I wanna just say one more thing. In that, as far as it goes, from where I'm standing right now, in the future, I will be only working on narrative horror projects as new projects. ARTGHOST and Enchanting Aspects will continue as long as they continue, and I am very happy and excited to be doing these shows. But as far as any new projects coming on in the future, all going to be narrative based, all have endings.
Favorite medieval weapon?
Okay, you're fully asleep now. Yeah, we're back into we're gonna just wrap up the remaining questions that we have. Could you ask that one more time, please, and tell us who it's by?
Turtle lover 2244 asks, favorite medieval weapon?
I'm gonna go with caltrops.
What's that?
It's a rope with 2 iron balls attached on the ends of it that you
swingy
that you throw at people's legs to trip them up.
Okay, Joe.
I think probably a morning star. Just because I like the...
Oh, that's not what it is. I looked it up. Caltrops is different. I'm going to find out the name of my thing.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening. Caltrops are the little spikes. You're thinking of bolus, I think.
Bolus! Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the morning star?
Play a lot of video games. The morning star, it's the... Well...
Swingy.
It's a swingy. It's like the mace. I think that sometimes it's the one with the chain, but I think it also can just be like a solid mace. But it's the one that's got like a ball on the end and the spikes coming out. And I just like the biblical imagery. I liked Lucifer, even though it's bad, on Netflix. And his last name is Morningstar, and it's like.
So his full name is Lucifer.
No, his name is Lucifer Morningstar.
But Lucifer, doesn't that mean morning star?
I don't know.
No, Lucifer means light bringer.
Lightbringer. And then Morningstar could also mean Lightbringer.
I guess
in a sort
so.
of way.
Yeah.
Google lied to me.
I don't know. I just think they're fun. Plus, they're unnecessarily brutal, which is really great.
Sword.
I don't know. You just see some guy charging across the battlefield, swinging that shit. You know it's over.
Yeah. Also, Amy said sword.
Sword.
Yeah.
What kind of sword?
Like the fucking sexiest.
Sexiest.
Sexy swords. Love it.
The one with the cool roundy handle.
Oh,
Sure.
like an épée? Or a rapier?
Yeah, rapier.
Okay.
The one that like a sexy person would have.
A lot of
Okay.
Okay.
Now.
Like a tuxedo mask kind of sword.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. You know what? That's fair. That's fine. That tracks. Okay. Hey, what's our favorite desserts?
Gum.
Fuck you! I've kept it together up until this point, but I've had it.
So, one of my favorite desserts is from Joe's Crab Shack. Okay, I have 3 favorite desserts.
Oh my God.
One of them is from Joe's Crab Shack. It was like this, it's like this fucking amalgamation of s'mores and cookie and brownie and ice cream, and it's all put together and it's so good. It's like a s'more, but it's like soft and it's yummy. I don't know what it's called. They closed down all the Joe's Crab Shacks in Las Vegas, and I'm sad about it.
There was a crab shortage.
They ran out of crab. And then they're also another canceled dessert item. They had at Olive Garden, they had like a fucking 12-layer chocolate cake, and it was so rich and so decadent, but it doesn't exist anymore. And then another fucking discontinued dessert.
Oh my God.
There was this really, really cute ramen shop in Las Vegas that closed down, and I went there for one of my birthdays, and I only got it once, but they had this really big honey toast that was so good. It was so good.
Hell yeah.
And it's gone! So yeah, everything I loved is gone.
Oh my
I
God.
love you, baby.
Who are you?
Jupiter, what's your favorite dessert?
Fuck. Here's the thing. I'm not a big dessert girl. I like it simple. I like a cookie. I like a...
No, probably not a chocolate chip cookie, though, right?
Not a chocolate chip cookie. I like a snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle's awesome.
Yeah,
Snickerdoodle's
snickerdoodles are good.
bomb.
I like a molasses cookie, something with spices in it, like, you know, stuff like that. I tend to like spiced things more than I like sweet things. I don't know. Like, I tend to be like,
Like
well,
a ginger snap?
sure, yeah. Where I'm like, I am so... When I eat a meal, I'm like, I wanna make and eat a meal that will fill me up, and then like dessert happens, and I'm like, fucking, I don't know. I guess
I don't know that I've ever ordered dessert after eating dinner at a restaurant.
I mean, I have when I was a kid, but like nowadays, I just don't care. I will say, like a lemon cake is nice. I like lemon. But yeah, I'm not a big dessert girl.
I think my favorite dessert is my mommy has a homemade pull apart bread recipe.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
It's so good.
Shit.
It's just cinnamony and sweet, and it's got like sweet syrupy glaze on it.
Hell yeah.
It's a mess on your hands, which is something that normally really irritates me with food, but oof, I'll eat that stuff for days.
Yummy.
Hell yeah. All right. Last question by Turtle Lover 2244. Favorite video game enemy?
Oof. Probably.
I did not prepare for this.
I didn't think about this at all, but I'm going to say the first one that came off the top of my head, which is Gigius from Earthbound. Specifically because it's like he's not a stereotypical like enemy. He's literally just completely lost his mind and soul and everything, and he's just flailing out in an attempt of like some sort of survival, and it's just sad, and you like can hear his confusion and desperation, and you don't really feel like justice in killing him. You just feel like it's what has to be done, unfortunately. And I really like that. It's fucked up.
Fucked up.
He's scary. He's a genuinely scary video game enemy.
Yeah.
Jupiter, what's your favorite?
Okay, you're stalling for time, I see. Well, that's...
No, I've got an answer. I just think it's a good closer.
Okay, alright. I thought mine was a good closer, but I trust you. My favorite video game enemy is the fucking Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. I love the Nemesis. The Nemesis... I love especially in Resident Evil 3 Remake, I really love a enemy that is unstoppable. I like being chased. I like, but also like, you can fight back against the Nemesis. There are ways to do it. Like, you can, fire enough shots into the Nemesis to temporarily knock it down, but it'll get back up. And especially in Resident Evil 3 Remake, about like how many times you have to kill the Nemesis, like to get it to stick. It's just like you blow up the Nemesis, and it's just like, oh, sick, Nemesis is dead, and then the Nemesis comes back as a fucked up dog, and you're like, what the fuck? And the final Nemesis, the final boss of Resident Evil 3 Remake, is just a flesh room.
Oh.
And I fucking love that shit. I love it. I love Nemesis. Nemesis, you have a special place in my heart. You can come over for dinner anytime and just mumble stars. Stars.
I could give you a different answer to this question every day for the rest of my natural life. But today, the answer is going to be Tom Morello from Guitar Hero 3.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
There's an enemy in Guitar Hero? I don't remember.
Because Tom Morello is the first boss you fight in that game out of 3. It comes out of nowhere. It's shocking. It's Tom Morello in Guitar Hero, which is hilarious. It's Bulls on Parade, which is hilarious. And it introduces the battle system, which was, if memory serves, genuinely pretty fun. Like, it was more fun than just a straight up, like, score off Guitar Hero 2-player game. Mm-hmm. It, like, had, like, attacks and shit like Mario Kart.
Oh my god.
And, yeah, that's the first boss you fight, and it's fucking hilarious. And, yeah, Tom Morello. That is a video game enemy.
That's... you were right. That is a very fun closer. What the fuck? I love it. Okay. Well, that was our Q&A. I hope you all enjoyed. It's ended up being longer than I thought it would be, but I think I had a good time doing it. I think it's going to be a good time. So let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching this Q&A. Thank you so much for tuning into it. So I would highly encourage everyone listening, go check out mushroomstation.net for information about all of our shows. Go to our Patreon at patreon.com/mushroomstation to get access to our Patreon exclusive Discord server, to get Mushroomite commissions from me if you donate at the $20 level, to participate in and vote for movie and game nights that we do in the Discord server. We're doing a lot of stuff in the Discord server. And we pulled all of these questions from the Discord server, and we're going to keep the Q&A channel open for future questions. I don't know. I guess we'll talk about it privately, but I don't think it's extremely likely that we'll do another like big Q&A like this, at least not for a long time.
No.
But
we can answer the questions in the channel.
Exactly. We can answer the questions in the channel, and if you want to hang out with us, if you want to talk with us and ask us things and talk about the shows, the Discord is the best place to do it. Check out our Patreon. Highly encourage it. Yeah. And go check us out on Twitter at Mushroom Pods on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
Amy, say goodbye.
Goodbye!
Oh, man.
Oh, gosh.